exit, then cross the roundabout and take the second exit.
The test centre's just on our right. So we're going to start our driving test from here. So this is Tyler. Tyler's mum saw my post that said I'm coming to Northampton and told you to message me.
Yeah.
You've got your driving test coming up in 2 weeks
Yeah.
at Northampton Driving Test Centre. So this mock test is going to really help you and push you forward. And we're going to do something slightly different to normal on this one. Normally, we drive around a route, we chat, we mess about. But with you, I'm going to give you a proper mock test around a proper route. And I'm going to try and give you a proper driving test experience. Why am I doing that? We've driven on the way here, and there was a few things that I felt I helped you with. But you said that you needed to concentrate quite hard to drive. So I'm not going to distract you by chatting. I'm going to let you fully focus while you're driving, not talk to you unless you make a mistake, and I can easily point it out without distracting you too much. But I'll note down all of the mistakes and let you know them all after. So we're going to drive in silence like the examiners normally would. But for you guys at home, I'll do a voiceover to let you know when Tyler does something good or when Tyler does something bad, so you can either replicate it or avoid it. Enjoy this one. And also wish Tyler luck for his real test in 2 weeks. What a guy. Thank you for coming and hanging out with us, man.
Thank you.
So I've got a real driving test route at Northampton. I got this one off Driving Test Routes UK. You know the link by now. It's in the description. If you want 10% off, get in there. Use code DSTV20. No. If you want 10% off, then sorry, we can't help you. I'm going to give you 20% off. Code DSTV20. You know the link. It's in the description. We're going to start with a vehicle safety question. Tyler, can you tell me how to check your headlights and tail lights are working?
Headlights and tail lights.
Have you been through these questions?
Some of them, I think the headlights and tail lights, I have to go by just straight guessing.
Okay. So think about it for a second. What kind of test could you do to check to check your headlights are working?
Probably just turn them on, get out and check if they're working.
You got it.
Like this.
That is the answer to the question.
Oh.
Where's your tail lights and how do you turn them on?
Tail lights, they are at the back.
Mm-hmm.
And do they turn on by braking?
No, those are brake lights. So when you're driving along at night, notice on the back of cars that they light up red all the time. And then when the car's braking, instead of 2 dim red lights, you get 3 bright red lights. That's the difference between tail lights and brake lights. So to turn the tail lights on, which are your 2 dim red lights, turn on the dipped headlights, and you also get tail lights on the back. And if you want to learn your show me, tell me questions, like Tyler hasn't, he's going to go to this link, and so are you. It's in the top left corner. That's my show me, tell me revision guide. Okay, welcome to Tyler's mock test. I really respect the fact that he needs to concentrate on this one, so we will not talk at all during this test, a bit like you would have on your real driving test with an examiner.
At the end of the road, turn left, then cross the roundabout and take the second exit.
So, this one's going to be really useful, not just if you're driving at Northampton, but if you're driving absolutely anywhere.
Turn left, then cross the roundabout and take the second exit.
And for that reason, I'm going to show you the entire mock test. Tyler fails on a few things, and they're not just obscure fails or things that aren't really fair, but they're things that could happen to anybody. So this is why I'm going to talk you through the entire thing. And yes, we've got a new camera. So we can see the side view, we can see when Tyler approaches roundabouts, we can see everything happening behind, and that's going to be important in a minute. There's going to be something that happens behind with a BMW driver, of course, that you're going to want to see.
Cross the roundabout and take the second exit.
So here we're coming up to the first roundabout, so let's flip to the side, and this one's not too difficult. Tyler does have a small problem with roundabouts, but it's not these ones, it's the spiral roundabouts. Great mirror check, great signal timing, and smooth steering. He's definitely spotted this 20 sign because he's not going to exceed the speed limit on this road at all. I would say for perfection on this road, it is quite bendy. It does bend left and right quite a bit. It would be amazing to have a mirror check left when he steers left, and just here a mirror check right when he steers right. It doesn't happen, it's not a big deal, it's not a big change in direction, but if we're aiming for perfection, a mirror check would be great here. Tyler looks really composed here. This is great. He's 2 miles an hour under the speed limit, no problem at all. This is the moment where we have a slight issue with a vehicle 2 cars behind. And this happens to everybody. If you're doing the speed limit and you've got L plates on, cars behind are sometimes impatient, but there's nothing that we can do anything about. We can't control the other traffic. We can only control what we do in our car. And if we know that we're driving legally and other people behind us have somewhere to go and they're in a massive hurry, if they overtake us, we'd rather them in front of us than behind us.
After 200 yards, turn left, then turn right. Turn left, then turn right.
At traffic lights, you'll notice that Tyler puts his handbrake on every single time, which is obviously something that he's been taught by his driving instructor. Absolutely not a problem. I know I've said on videos before that you don't need to put your handbrake on unless you're parking up, but if you want to put your handbrake on, either way's fine. Coming up here is where Tyler's going to make his first mistake. It's not a big one, but it's something that I'm going to note down on my marking sheet.
After 200 yards, turn right. Turn right.
So it's quite hard to see it with the camera being on top of the car, but Tyler is way too close to this grey car in front. And in fact, when the grey car moves forward, Tyler also decreases the gap. Tyres on tarmac means you need to see the tyres sitting on the tarmac of the car in front when you're in the driver's seat. So from the roof cam view, it does look like obviously we can see the tyres on the tarmac, but from the driver's view, we are way too close. A better guide perhaps than tyres on tarmac is put one imaginary small car in between you and the vehicle in front. If you can't put a smart car or an Abarth in that gap between you both, then you're too close. I am writing a lot on this sheet of paper, which I am worried might put him off. But what I'm doing is I'm not just noting down the mistakes, I'm writing an explanation of the mistake on the back of the sheet so that when he takes it away, he can reflect on those mistakes and it will be as useful as possible for him in preparation for his real driving test. It's important to note as well, when you're on your real driving test, the examiner will be marking things on their iPad that aren't necessarily driver faults or serious faults. So try and pay as little attention as possible to what they're doing on the iPad and just focus on the road.
After 400 yards, go right on the roundabout and take the third exit.
So what I'm noting here is, again, Tyler is slightly close to that car in front. It's not massive, but it's enough to note it down. If I didn't note it down because it's borderline, then I would not be helping him the best way possible. I need Tyler to know that that gap is important. Coming up is another mistake from Tyler. Look at his reaction time to this traffic lights. It took him a couple of seconds too long to realise that the light was turning amber and that he needed to react to it, which meant that the brake was quite harsh and there was a car quite close behind us. So I've noted that as a mistake as well. Another theme of Tyler's driving that I've noticed is that it feels slightly slow and sluggish.
After 200 yards, go right on the roundabout and take the third exit.
If the road is 30 and there's no hazards up ahead of us, then we should be accelerating up to at least above 20 miles an hour.
Go right on the roundabout and take the third exit.
That's my fault.
Clutch down. Good job. Nice recovery. Okay, Tyler's stalled here. He's lifted the clutch up too quickly before he's pressed the gas pedal. Not a big deal. It's a new car to him. I will note it, but if he doesn't do this in his normal car, I'm going to make sure he knows at the end it's not something to worry about. Clearly, Tyler was too close to that amber light to stop for it, so I'm glad that he went through that. But just check what he does on this spiral roundabout. Notice the line on the left of us, and at the last minute, then Tyler drifts across again into the left lane. There was a small mirror check that we can see, but avoid doing this. It's unpredictable. You're indicating left to show that you're leaving the roundabout, not that you're changing lanes. Again, look at the speed here. Tyler's just taking a little bit too long to speed up. The road is so clear, and traffic behind is going to be wanting to get on their way. Everyone's in the car to try and get to a destination.
400 yards, cross the roundabout and take the second exit.
And this is Tyler's first serious fault. I'll let you know what it is, but can you spot it or even hear it right now? Okay, now we've stopped, surely you can hear it. Surely Tyler can hear it, but he's not going to realise what he did on this mistake at all. Okay, he's signalling right to change lanes, but he completely missed that his left signal was on all the way from that roundabout past all of the junctions. That would be a fail. This lane change though was perfect. He's waited for the red Audi TT to move past. There's a safe gap for him to move into, and he's done that nicely. Great smooth steering on the roundabout, perfect mirror check and signal, and we've exited.
I realised what I did back there.
What was it?
I was supposed to be in the right lane instead of the left.
To go straight, yes. And you switched over before the junction? That was good. No problem with that at all. He is correct. The left lane was left turn only, and he moved into the right lane in good time before the junction. But he's completely missed the fact that he signalled left all the way down that road. But no drama, I've got all of these mistakes written down, and I'll go through the explanations with him at the end of this video. Plus, because this is going on YouTube before his real driving test, he can watch it back and fine-tune his driving. So get in the comments and wish him luck. He's a really nice guy, and I absolutely want the best for him. Like the last roundabout, there's no reason that Tyler needs to be in the right lane here to go straight on the roundabout. So ideally, we would have been on the left, but not too much of an issue because the road merges into one lane after the roundabout. But this could have caused him a problem if a car from the left lane wanted to go straight at the same time as him. Again, just a little bit slow to get up to speed. I would have loved a little bit more acceleration. My car's not slow, but you can drive it slowly like Tyler's showing. Tyler, when it's safe to do so, can you sound your horn? Thanks. I like this show me tell me question, and the when it's safe to do so bit kind of puts people off sometimes. When it's safe to do so, I believe, just takes the urgency out of the question. You don't have to do it straight away. Maybe think it through in your head before you go for any of the show me actions.
Cross the roundabout and take the second exit. Cross the roundabout and take the second exit.
Okay, on the floor, again, left turn only on the left lane, and Tyler's picked the right lane perfectly. This is why it's really important to be planning ahead. And like I've said before, you're planning for three things: the road signs, the road markings, and all of the other road users. If you can spot road markings and road signs in advance, you're going to have a much easier driving test.
After 400 yards, go right on the roundabout and take the fourth exit.
Okay, this roundabout coming up is going to be tricky. I'll let you watch and then I'll explain what happened.
Go right on the roundabout and take the fourth exit.
If you've noticed what Tyler's about to do, well done. But this is a really common mistake. You should be able to feel the issue though. The car feels sluggish and like it's got no power, like it normally does. And it's not for the reason that Tyler says. Stop. Find the problem, Tyler?
Yeah.
What's the problem? Doesn't feel good, does it?
No.
What's the problem?
Clutch.
Nope. The car feels like it's got no power pushing forward. What might that be?
Because we're going uphill.
It should still be able to push forward up a slight incline. What could the problem be? Not the clutch.
Yeah.
What gear are you in?
First gear.
Double check that. Got it. You'll recognise that feeling next time now. Okay, so Tyler was stalling because he's in third gear. You should be able to feel that feeling of the car being in the wrong gear, trying to pull away. Hopefully now though, he'll recognise that. And here's the next problem. On the roundabout, he's turning right. He should have been in the right lane like the white learner car ahead of us. Again, we've got a big problem with the spiral roundabout. Look how he switches lanes into the next lane to the right and then switches back to the left lane. On a spiral roundabout, if you pick the right lane to start with and follow those lines like a tram track and you're the tram, you will end up where you need to be. So again here, I'd love Tyler to get a little bit more speed in, show that you're confident, show that you've practiced this a lot and show that you can get from A to B as quickly, efficiently, as safely as possible. The road is really clear, we're on a dual carriageway, the speed limit's 50 miles an hour, but we take a long time to get up to speed and we never really get above 45 miles an hour.
After 400 yards, cross the roundabout and take the second exit. Cross the roundabout and take the second exit.
That roundabout was great. We looked to the right in advance, we didn't stop, there wasn't any need, and we carried on. Great mirror check, great signal, that was a good roundabout. So in all honesty, Tyler can do roundabouts, and he's good and efficient at them. I feel like maybe he hasn't done enough spiral roundabouts with his instructor and been told not to switch lanes while you're on them. It's not random, the lines are painted there to funnel traffic around the roundabout properly, so you need to follow them rigidly.
After 400 yards, go right on the roundabout and take the third exit. Go right on the roundabout and take the third exit. Take the exit.
Okay, that roundabout was good. He followed the lines, he signalled, he checked the mirrors and exited well.
After 400 yards, cross the roundabout and take the second exit. Cross the roundabout and take the second exit. second exit.
If we're going to talk about perfection here, then Tyler could have kept slightly more over to the left on this roundabout. It would have stopped him straddling 2 lanes just on the exit. This definitely would not have been marked as a mistake on a driving test, but if it was a driving lesson, I would have pointed it out to him so that he could perfect, fine-tune and be the best driver he can possibly be.
After 200 yards, cross the roundabout and take the second exit. Cross the roundabout and take the second exit.
So there's no reason to stop at this roundabout. There's nothing coming from the right, and this could have been marked as hesitation on the driving test. The car behind you can see that there's nothing coming, so they would have expected you to go without stopping. That could be quite confusing for any drivers following.
After 300 yards, go right on the roundabout and take the third exit.
Okay, again, this is another spiral roundabout, and we're going to have another problem on it, to the point where I need to touch the steering wheel. There's a van that just gets way too close to us, and Tyler again tries to change lanes on the roundabout, purely because he's clearly not been taught that we need to stay in the same lane.
Go right on the roundabout and take the third exit.
Again, we've stalled. It's hardly worth mentioning. He's in a new car. It's no drama at all. If this was his regular car, then maybe we'd go and do a quick 20 minutes on clutch control after this mock test, but I'm sure that he's normally fine with this in his normal car. Again, because he's not been taught how to use spiral roundabouts properly, so he's ignoring the lines and just exiting to the left like he would do on a smaller roundabout or one without lane markings.
Take the exit, then cross the roundabout and take the second exit.
It clearly would have been safer there to follow the spiral of the roundabout, stick to your lane in case anything could be coming from your left and wanting to exit at the same time as us.
After 100 yards, cross the roundabout and take the second exit. Cross the roundabout and take the second exit.
Stop. Perhaps another case of hesitation there. Maybe Tyler couldn't see the signal, but you should be reading the body language of the car. If you can clearly see the position of the car on your right is on the outside of the roundabout and directly pointing to the last exit before ours, it's a great indication that they're not coming around to see us. And also, I told Tyler to stop. There was a car coming around and past us. Yes, they ended up following around, but they could have signaled and left at the exit on the left of us, which would have meant that we were then in their way.
Cross the roundabout and take the second exit.
One thing I do like about Tyler's driving though is he seems laser focused. He's not fazed by anything happening around him on the road. He's just constantly locked onto what's happening in front of him and dealing with it as it comes up. He doesn't look like he's fazed or thinking at all about what's happened behind him. Again here, there's no reason at all we're in the right lane to go straight at this roundabout. We could have been in the left lane and that would have been ideal. Plus again, looking at the body language, the positioning of the cars, these are all clearly exiting. He realizes, but maybe just a little bit too late. And we are about to drive in a bus lane, but if you can pause and read the times on this bus lane, it's okay. If the bus lane is available and not in operation, then you should be driving in it. It's the left lane. And Tyler recognizes this perfectly. Another thing I like about Tyler's driving is he's planning way far ahead. So watch what he does in reaction to this vehicle stopped in the bus lane. He's signaled, he's moved across in great time, but watch what he does when we move back in. Here's another mistake. Can you spot it?
After 200 yards, turn left.
We are about to pass the junction and he's got his left signal on again, just like before.
Turn left.
Maybe he's expecting the car to cancel the signal after he's changed lanes, but a car will rarely do that. You need to steer about a quarter of a turn and then turn back for the car to recognise that you've taken a turn and cancel the signal automatically for you. Okay, Tyler, just before the red car, I'd like you to pull up on the left. Pull up on the left. Okay, Tyler, this is your manoeuvre. What I want you to do is move off from here and reverse park back into this position.
Okay.
That's what they'll normally say for parallel parking.
Okay.
Happy with that? You done that before?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, stop. That's too close. Okay, pause. Think about this. I'm going to help you just a tiny bit. You're parked too close to a car in front, like we were started. What do you do to give yourself more room so that you can move off?
Reverse back.
Left, right, or straight?
Straight.
Are you reversing back left or right or straight?
I think when I was going to move off, I was turning right and I didn't get the wheel straight.
Got it. If you pause when things don't make sense, normally if you're on a maneuver, that's when this happens. Pause, try and work out the steps, work out what you need to do, and if it's not working, go back and think about why this is happening.
Move off like this. Straight. I have to go forward a little bit. Pull up left. Wait. I lost, stalled it.
Okay, stop. Think about what position we're in right now. Yes. Cool. Okay, just quickly, because we've got some space to think right now, because we're stopped. Your technique for parking is quite good. If you just turned right instead of left at that point, like you were probably doing in your lessons, that would have been a really nice bay park, a parallel park. Really, really nice. But what I feel like you did, or the root cause of why that went wrong, was you were rushing. Did you feel like you were rushing that a bit quick?
Yeah.
Because there was a car behind maybe?
Possibly.
I think you rushed it because there was a car behind waiting, which made you go too fast and you steered the wrong way, which made us go onto the pavement. The other thing is, the reason the car stalled was because you're lifting the clutch and pressing the brake at the same time, which is telling the car to go and stop. And eventually you press the brake so much and you lift the car clutch so much that the car just stalls. And we got to that point, which is why the car stalled. The other thing was, Before you start going backwards, where do you need to look? Blind spots, yes. We went backwards a few times and quite quickly because you were rushing and there was no looking around. So that's definitely something to work on with your instructor. And I'd say the one thing that you can do to fix all of that would be go a lot slower. So that you've got time to think about, right, I'm about to do this, so what do I need to do to get that done? What's the steps I need to take? And you'll be lots more successful with parking. Okay. The test centre is just at the end of this road and then left.
Okay.
Or right. But we'll stop here because there's temporary traffic lights. So it'll take a little while to get there. Switch off the engine. Will be eco-friendly. How did you find that?
I will be honest, I panicked a lot during that.
Did you? Okay. What made you panic a lot?
I've noticed some of the mistakes I did. Like just as I did it, I was like, oh no, I messed up.
What did you find that was difficult while we were doing that?
I think it was like the reverse bay parking. I sort of like panicked there. Because usually I do know how to reverse bay, but I think now I just like because there was someone behind me and it was like my first mock test. I a little bit panicked.
Yeah. You said you'd done a mock test once before.
Yes.
But it wasn't from the test centre, it was just from your house?
Yeah.
With your instructor? Yeah, okay. Which is why it's really useful to do mock tests a lot in the proper format, because then you're going to feel more familiar with the real test. And when it comes up, it will just feel like you've done this 100 times before, instead of it's a new situation. I'm guessing that this felt like a completely new driving situation, which you're not familiar with.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So it might be useful to do more mock tests with your instructor in a proper test format from the driving test centre. Because if you're just doing a mock test from home, it's like just a lesson, right? So there were a few mistakes. Do you want me to read them out for you and explain them?
Yes, please.
Okay, cool. So let's go from the beginning. And I'm going to give you this to take away. What I've done is under the category, instead of writing a line like the examiners would do, I've written letters, and the letters correspond to the explanation on the back. So you can take this away, reflect on it, and work on it maybe with your instructor. A couple of times you stopped too close to the car at traffic lights. Right at the beginning, there was a car that you stopped. I think it was 2 or 3 times on each traffic light. You were too close to them. And I feel like the root cause of that was maybe not using MSPSL. Do you do mirror signal position speed look?
Yes.
And were you doing that in your head while you were driving up to traffic lights?
Don't think so, no.
Okay, so when you're doing MSPSL, you're telling yourself when to mirror, signal, position, speed, and then look, so you get everything in the right order and at the right time. If you try and drive instinctively, especially if you're under more stress and pressure, then all of that goes out the window and you only react when it's something needing to be done instead of reacting in advance. The other thing that was happening, which I think was causing you to stop too close, was you're reacting to the traffic lights too late. So you're not expecting them to change to red, or when they were already red, the car in front would start braking, and then a couple of seconds later, you'd start braking. And really smoothly, which would mean that eventually we'll stop too close to them. So 2 tips for that. Use MSPSL. It sounds basic. I did that on my first or second lesson, Francis. But on your test, when you're stressed, you need to bring it back to basics so that you can still focus and bring out those core skills when the examiner's here glaring at you, putting you under pressure. Cool. And also just react to things straight away. So always be looking for the next hazard. If the lights turn red or the car in front brakes, we should be either braking before them or at least at the same time as them. And then on one traffic light, there was a sharp brake. So the light changed to red. You actually did react quite quickly to it, and there was no check behind. Did you notice that?
Yes.
Do you know that you have to check behind for
Yes.
following traffic?
Yes.
Why is that helpful?
So, me stopping is, sorry, let me rephrase that.
Go for it.
Us stopping is reflecting on what happens behind.
Yeah. So when we stop and there's a car super close to us, we need to know how far back they are so that we know whether we can brake harshly or whether we need to brake smoothly. Cool.
Yeah.
You knew that, right? A couple more mistakes for stalling. I'm not even going to explain them. It's a new car. Don't worry about it. Do you stall in your own car?
When I first started, yeah, but then when I got used to the car, I didn't stall.
Okay, so if you don't stall in your own car, don't worry about it. What I will say though is when you get a new car, I promise you'll stall it loads. It just takes time to get used to it. Cool. Once you've driven it for like a week, you'll be more used to the pedal feel and you'll be a pro at it as well. So you're going to pass your driving test. You're going to buy a car. You're going to stall it loads. Don't let that put you off, making you think that you're a brand new driver again. It's just a new car. It likes to be driven in a certain way. A couple of mistakes on a couple of roundabouts, and I wrote down spiral with the roundabout. And I wrote down a bit later on in the mock test as well, spiral with the roundabout. What do I mean by that?
Not in the correct lane on the roundabout.
Yes. So you started sometimes in the incorrect lane for the roundabout, but especially for when we were on, Northampton's got a bloody lot of roundabouts. When we were in a spiral roundabout, sometimes you're not following the spiral, following the lanes, and then you drift out of the lane. On a spiral roundabout especially, it's really important to stay within your lane. If you start in the correct lane, you join the correct lane, then it will spit you out in the correct place. So there was one time where you started on the inside, you carried on the inside on a spiral roundabout where we should have been moving outside with the lanes. And then at the last minute, you darted across to the left to exit. And on another point, I actually pushed your wheel slightly to the right. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Because there was a white van coming around on our left. There were 2 lanes to exit. You were in the right one, not a problem. And then you were going to merge across into the left lane while still on the roundabout. So the top tip here, and remember, everything on a mock test is learning. If you pass this, you're not going to learn anything. So this is great. When you're on a spiral roundabout, just watch the lanes that are on the floor and stick your car in between those lanes. Don't move left of the lane. Don't move right of the lane. If you've started in the correct lane, you'll finish at the correct exit. Have you done spiral roundabouts with the instructor?
Yes.
Okay, practice them a couple more times or a few more times. Okay. Tyler, the first fail that you did, I was like this. Please notice, but you didn't notice. When you said, I know what I did there, I moved into the right lane because the left lane was left turn only. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
That wasn't a problem. I didn't write anything down about that. You moved across really safely. That was nice. But you exited the last roundabout before that with a left signal, and then you left the left signal on the whole way down that road, and you passed like 3 or 4 junctions on the left. I was like, please notice your left signal. And then we just went past like a massive entrance, and there was like cars coming and stuff. So I was like, that's going to have to be a fail. And it's such a sucky way to fail because you like kick yourself. But you have to be aware of what your signals are doing because it's telling other cars a story that you don't want it to tell. Make sense? Sick. And that happened twice. Signal, left signal on too long was E, and signal past the junction as well was I. So that happened twice. The second one was when we passed the bus lane. Do you remember that? There was a bus lane. There was a lorry, so we moved that in front of the lorry. That was perfect. You signalled left to get back in the bus lane, and then you left that left signal on past a junction before the left turn we were taking. Remember that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Sick. Oh, yeah. When we were on one of the roundabouts, I told you to stop when there was a car coming. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Okay, talk me through that mistake.
I saw the first and second one go, and I thought I had enough time to go. I did not.
Yeah. Okay, sure. What most people would say there was, I saw the car signalling right, so I thought I could get onto the roundabout while they were turning right. But you just thought you had enough time.
Yeah.
And you didn't. Okay. So we're not in a hurry for roundabouts or anything like that. You've got so many here. I think the best tip I could give you there is, you've got so many of them. Make sure that you're safe on every single one. And if you're not sure, don't go. So I think you did really well on that. You only take 1 hour lessons every week. And I can tell that driving sometimes gets a bit stressful for you. In fact, you told me that yourself earlier. So well done. That's the first proper mock test. But with 2 weeks to go until your actual driving test, I would say consider I know 2 hours you said was a bit stressful to do all the time. So consider maybe doing an extra half an hour on the end of your driving. Yeah? An extra half an hour just to get you more practice, more car time. And if it's possible, you said that your mum's got a manual Honda.
Yeah.
Learner insurance is not expensive. See if you can get some and find as much car time as possible. That's going to get you as much experience as possible before your real test. Yeah?
Yeah.
Was this helpful?
Yeah.
I'm going to give you this, and if you want me to send you the footage later, let me know.
Okay.
Tyler, thank you so much. Give Tyler some props, love and energy, and good luck for his real driving test. Will you let me know if you pass or fail?
I will.
Okay, well, then whether Tyler passed or failed will be now. Okay, Tyler hasn't actually taken his driving test yet. I only filmed this 2 days ago, but I wanted to prioritise this edit so that he could watch it with all of the commentary and explanations on it to give him the best chance of passing his driving test. So when he sends me the result, I'll post it on Instagram. If you don't already, follow me there at Driving School TV. And if you're taking your driving test at Northampton or anywhere else, you'll find this playlist really useful. It's got all my best tips for driving, nerves, tests, secrets from an examiner. If you watch it, you'll find your driving test much more easily because you'll be armed with more knowledge. Plus, if you want to see everywhere else that I've driven on this driving test route exploration of England, click that one and you'll see every other test centre that I've been to. See you in the next one. Peace. Bye.